of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
Good afternoon or good evening. Welcome to an A.H.A.D moment, the calm before the storm. I'm Fakir Abdulaziz, sitting here with our esteemed panel, Brother Adam Hanif Saleem, Lord Holy-Apostle Deen Saleem, and Holy Queen Mother Rabia Saleem. May Ahezaah's peace and other blessing be within and about your presence. And that same greeting goes out to you and our television audience out there, our half-hour audience, as well as our hour-long audience. We've always got very provocative and very, very important and profound conversation to bring to you, and we're going to start. We go right into our conversation, if we may, to the world of those who propose to believe and those who don't believe or think that they don't believe. We're going to talk about belief, and conversation I'm going to give to you: belief in the Lord El, who's come in many names. Ahezaah, this day's name, Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, names that's been expressed in the light. Belief in the Lord El and its messengers. And Lord Holy-Apostle Deen, as truly in my level of belief, this day's messenger,
That's interesting. Interesting you said your level of belief.
Yeah, because I appreciate, even being on this show, being put in place, at times whenever we get into those areas of absolute confidence and absolute surety that, this is, I know this is what this is, in the light, until you find out the little devils that still exist with you is still in there working, but truly, I can't testify of having seen any other evidence to go against.
Well, how did you classify your level of belief?
That's fanciful language, Lord. That's just
that's fanciful language.
Yeah, that's shifty language.
We don't deal with that. That hinges on falsehood, right?
Yes, it does.
We don't mess with that here. We like to speak straight up truth. But outside of your fanciful language, how do you manifest, or how do you explain or show your level of belief? It's an interesting question. I mean, like I had that, you just popped that right in my head.
Yeah. First, I don't know how I show. I in different levels, I try to do the work of Ahezaah, sitting on the show.
So you keep your word levels.
Did I say that again?
You said levels, yes. Go see, I never dealt with levels. I never knew how to identify levels. But then again, as they say, 20/20 hindsight. Mm-hmm. As you say that, I could think about some things and say, okay, that was at one level of my belief or misbelief, but I can't specifically identify the levels. I believe in belief or disbelief. Like there's no middle passage.
Right.
It's either you believe or you don't believe. Now, you saying levels of belief, and therefore you're talking about levels of disbelief that you still have. So, right? That's what I would think. If you said my levels of belief, okay, your levels. Okay, so now in the extending levels, that means you don't believe. That's what you said.
Or I might be thinking about levels that I haven't reached yet, or
of
belief. Yes,
so
therefore you are.
With regards to those levels, no, I'm not even there yet.
Yeah. So then that means that if you're not there, then that means you're struggling on disbelief, correct?
honestly,
That's what it's
honestly,
That's what it sounds like, right? That's what it sounds like.
And let me just say,
I must.
let me just say this here. I can understand the levels. You know what I'm saying? If you have levels, I can understand the levels.
Okay.
If you recognize your levels, then that's a good thing for you. You know, if you're employing yourself to really look at the levels of your belief and your disbelief, and you know what to do to bring you up to what I guess you would call the next level of belief, then that's good, because that's just like climbing it.
I don't know if that's good.
No, wait a minute.
The level to achieve salvation.
If I care, I think what he's saying is not levels of belief, levels of understanding.
No, not. We don't want to defend him.
I think he is. I don't know if he really means levels. I mean, for myself.
We don't know what he really means. We're trying to find out what he really means. We don't need you to give him something to say he really means, because he might jump on one of them levels of disbelief and say, okay, I'm going to put this up as belief.
Right.
And boom, yeah, it's levels of understanding.
Right.
One, I appreciate when you talk about the 20/20 hindsight, and in the reflective of looking back at where I've come from. One point when I recall, say, so many years ago or so many months ago, I was certain of being.
Okay, tell me this here. And at the level that you are at now, because I don't think it's good, so good to know, like what she said, and I'm gonna tell you why.
And I'm gonna tell you why I said what I said.
Okay. At the level that you are at now, do you believe?
Yes.
Why you hesitate?
Why do I hesitate?
Yeah, because you had to check your levels of belief, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it seemed like you had to check it. See, I'm not slow. I don't care that little pause. That's a hesitation.
Now,
Because that's like a thought. Okay. Levels of disbelief. Your levels of belief. Okay. No, but tell me.
You know, there have been times when, I remember once literally beating someone up verbally about my profession of belief, you know, and then on a later end being counseled to taper myself. You need to balance yourself out. So I yes, I can affirm and do a testimony and be sincere, and I'm telling you what I've been shown and clearly know that I've experienced to affirm to me the belief, the reality of
in that expression, you will be choosing things that you could say is positive to support your belief.
And oftentimes those things are actually, it's not even my choice. It's like reminders brought back to me consistently. You know, it's not something I necessarily even go out and seek for in trying to do different works and the like that. I do appreciate getting confirmation like that, you know.
Yeah, when you speak, sometimes it seems like it borders on disbelief. You know, certain things you say, like you just said, your levels of disbelief or your levels of belief. And but when you believe, it's like if someone was to ask me, do I love this person here? I wouldn't say yes. She would get offended if I said yes.
Yes.
Because it would be like, what you mean, yes, right?
yes.
It's automatic, because there's nothing in me, as far as I am aware of, that borders on a lack of love. No levels of love, no levels of no love, not love. It's just love. I have no levels. I go up and down and up and down and up and down in my love, in my expressions, in my feelings, in my attention. And that's the way I am with Ahezaah. My belief is up and down within my involvement. Like, for instance, right now I'm up in my involvement in this show. before the show, I was down thinking in terms of, okay, when I get to do the show, what we're going to talk about. Now, that had nothing to do with levels of my interest or levels of my belief or love for Allah or doing this show, but it was like there's room, there's space for me to move about inside my love for my Lord, inside my mind. You see?
Yes.
But now when you talk about levels of belief and levels, what have you, then you're talking about, okay, your levels of belief have to include your levels of disbelief. You see? And it's and why I say it's not good that you recognize those things is because when I recognized the things that troubled me or hindered me in my belief, once I confirmed myself, once I became aware that I wasn't confirming myself, I would run to my Lord, begging, please, I feel something is hindering me in my love for you, in my submission to you. You see?
Yes, sir.
And I didn't want them levels in there. I wanted purity. Space, room, yeah. Space to say, whether I'm going to pray right now, or I'm going to study the Holy Quran, or I'm going to contemplate Allah, or I'm going to go to work and think about Allah, or I'm going to call this person up and talk about Allah, or I'm going to go out in my life and enjoy what Allah has brought into this nature, the natural world, or whatever it is about Allah that I'm going to be about, because it was all about Allah. Once I fell in love and belief, you see, there was no levels.
No.
Because if there was levels for me, if I thought I hadn't reached the top, I would be totally disturbed. Now, do you ever feel that?
Yes.
Totally disturbed with yourself?
Total, yes, disturbed.
I'm messing with him, don't I?
Why I said it was a good thing is because one thing that people do, which is a bad thing, I believe, is, they say they believe, but they say I believe, and they never check to see whether they truly believe. Mm-hmm. And then they go about deceiving themselves and to find out when they come up against a force, I really don't believe this. You understand? So what I was saying about the level, okay, if he has a level, if he put himself on a level, well then he has to recognize his level of disbelief. At least he's not deceiving himself, hopefully, that he has a level of disbelief that's there right along with his belief, which keeps him on one plateau.
If you have a level of disbelief, you automatically live in the realm of self-deceit, and self-defeat. You automatically, there's no separation from that. It's just like a getting out, jumping in a pool and staying dry, pool of water and staying dry. How you gonna do that?
Right, that's true.
Unless you are totally covered in some kind of wetsuit where it can't touch your flesh. Therefore, you're still self-deceived, because now your bodysuit is wet. That's a part of you, and you're saying you're not wet.
And you're still in that realm of disbelief.
If you're in the realm of disbelief, then you are a self-deceiving person.
Right.
You must be. Because like Ahezaah said in the Holy Quran, in its name of Allah, they're the disbelievers. They seek to deceive Allah and His messenger, and they only deceive themselves. That's self-deceit, automatic self-deceit. So if you have levels of belief, you have levels of self-deceit, because you have levels of disbelief. That's why I say, if I knew a level of belief, and I hadn't reached that other level of belief, I knew that I was a disbeliever. And I demanded of myself to be a believer. And when I didn't understand the thing, I begged my Lord in praise of it, of its all-knowingness, and asked it to give me faith, to secure me where I had no knowledge and no understanding about how to believe about it. So I'm one who did not accept levels of belief in me. From the very beginning, when I said I do to my Lord in marriage, I do. I accept this aspect of the religion, of being a part of you. Got rid of everything that wasn't on that circle of love, circle of marriage. No levels, no nothing. Oh Allah, take me unto yourself. Now, what we talking about levels? Have mercy on me, because I know not what I ask. Because you're so deep. But if I thought at any time that there was somebody who had more love for Allah than I had, I was disturbed. Not with that person, with myself. How could someone love Allah more than me? Am I cheating myself? I ask Allah, oh Allah, take me, my life, my death, my praise of you, and my sacrifice. Take it all. Make it for thee. That's everything. So what level? If it's of Allah's level, it's of the highest level. If it's of the devil's level, it's of the lowest level. I myself have no levels because I didn't create my mind. I don't configure my thoughts. I don't produce my thoughts. You know, I recognize that Allah is the doer of all things, and it produced my thoughts and arrange them and fashion them and behold me in them. You know, so I ask it, take all of me and do with me what you will, because you are my creator and my owner, and you know me better than I know myself. I only know of me what you give to me to know of me. And in that knowing, I don't know if that's the absolute of me, because you're always more than I ever think you are.
Only possibly, that's what I was saying. Like, I don't think it's, if you believe in Allah, then there's no way that you cannot believe in all of Allah and everything that comes with it.
That's right.
Allah. That's what I'm saying. There's only levels of understanding. Like, speaking for myself this time, you know, I always believed in Allah fully ever since I had understanding of Allah.
Fully?
I believe so. I mean, I believe, so there's no level.
You got a guy over there laughing at you.
Yes.
You know, oh, we got another one over here who's saying things you know not to be saying.
It was as far as my understanding. I was brought up Christian as a child until I got to a certain level of understanding, and then
so if you fully believe, that means you completely believe, meaning that there's no more way for you to go there.
As far as my belief, I truly believe in Allah, that Allah is the creator of myself, of everything. Allah is the force behind everything. There's nothing that I don't believe that I know of Allah. You know, whatever there is, I only can say that there's something I don't know of Allah. Then even the unknown of Allah, I believe in that, because I know there's things of Allah that I have no understanding or not.
Well, you know, the safe way in this conversation is when you say a thing, this is what I've been trying to tell this guy for a long time. When you say a thing, be careful of how you say it and what you say. You need to monitor your words. Your word, Allah is a mathematical genius, a mathematical perfect being. It created everything in mathematics. Now you got people talking about the mathematical Lord and what have you. They have no idea what they're talking about. It just sounds good to them. But in the mathematics of your language, you need to add up what you're saying to the fullest, so that you could never be put in a corner and say, you said this and that's what it means. Now, in your statement of belief, You see how I said I only know what Allah gives me to know? And I don't even know what that, if that's it, all of it, because it could give me something else, because there's always more.
Right.
You know, Allah said, that's why Allah says in the Holy Quran for us, say not that you're a believer, because you're yet to come to believe. Now, I am a witness bearer of what Ahezaah says in that Holy Quran in the name of Allah, because when I came to the Christ of Allah, and it enlightened me, when it took away my impurities, when it just broke me down from the mentality of this world, and then gave me the mentality of the divine, and I seen the difference, I had always thought I had bowed as low as I possibly could before my Lord, and I knew then that I had not. For the shame that came on me to think that I knew something. You must know to believe. Now, it's better to say you have faith, because if once you truly believe, there's no going back. That's why I always say, there's no such thing as I used to be Muslim, I used to be a true Christian, I used to be a true this, that, and the other. No, truth is eternal. Truth is infinite. Truth is real. Truth is pure. So if you say you true anything, that means you complete. How can you go back from completeness? That's like being born completely into this world. Say, I don't like this place, and jump back into your mother's womb. You can't do it. So when you come unto the truth and you're brought to life, being reborn in the Christ and brought to life, there's no coming back to this world. Not in that mind. That mind is dead. That mind is gone. Now you're of the mind of the believer. The only believer is the one who knows. So if your eye is Ahezaah, then surely you are a believer. But if your eye is not Ahezaah, but it is yourself, then you are self-deceived. Now, what eye are we talking about?
I'm of the eye of Ahezaah, the true believer.
You the eye of Ahezaah? You enlightened.
No, I'm not enlightened, but I'm striving.
You at one with
Ahezaah.
Ahezaah. You become intertwined with Ahezaah. Ahezaah took your soul.
I can't say it. I mean, Ahezaah always had my soul. I can't say that I'm at the
No. It took your mind. You met it?
No,
You been into the Christ?
No, I haven't.
Have you been beyond your rational mind?
No.
Then you are not, my friend, a believer. You're practicing belief.
Right.
You're practicing to believe. So many people get it wrong. They don't know what belief is. They think belief is they're favoring something. Isn't that what you think? You favor Allah, so you say, I believe in it, because I favor it. I favor it. I believe it. No. Belief and favor is two different things. The devil has tricked us in their language to make us say we believe in Allah. Huh? That same devil that won't tell you that Allah is Allaah, whom Jesus called, Moses called, John called Allaah, the breath, the eternal breath, the breath that gives life to all things, Allaah. That the Muslims transformed in their Arabic language as Allaah, and put it together calling Allah. The in Arabic means no, right? No. The no thing of creation. No. That's what their la is. Allah. But see, with the trick of language and things going down, people lose their way. So Allah always let the devil strike first. Let it send its messengers, its prophets, its warriors. Then they come and straighten it out. Straighten it out in messengers like myself. Tell the people, tell the world. They've misconfigured the language. Now we're going to bring the language back together. And we're going to show you what they did to turn you astray from Allah. And from the Allaah, from the breath of life. Like Moses says, oh you and Ha. You know, Moses knew Amen. See, they say Amen, but they're not telling you that Amen is a conjunction word, conjunction word. And men meaning mind, the breath of mind. And when it says men, that's plural for all its attributes. If man means mind, men means many minds, many attributes. The breath of many minds, and minds is worlds, the breath of many worlds. And Allah is the mind of all worlds. And it mans the throne. It minds the throne of sovereignty over all worlds that was created of minds, mentalities. So therefore we go deeper into the mind of the infinite living being, and we realize by what it says to us, the world is created of mentalities. The world is mental, my mind. You living in a world of illusions. And you're more like a dream, like your own dream. In my mind, you think that you're real when you're only finite. You'll come and go as I will for you to do. But I'm ever, forever.
You always tell us the strength of words, and you break down, you know, how you use
Oh,
them.
yes.
It's amazing.
And it's just coming into this recognition, you know, a made recognition. And if we may, we continue with this, but we do need to sign off on our half-hour audience. And I know this conversation was full in itself for the half-hour audience, and we'll ask them to tune in next week for a continuation of this conversation. And to them, may I use peace and blessing be within and about your presence.
Who of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you